Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's reading from Sri Damodara Janani, mother of Lord Damodara, Lord Damodara's brother by Sivarama Swami. We are reading from chapter 5 at the moment. Yashoda reprimands her son. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. So far we have read that Yashoda Maya is looking for Krishna, who has made quite a mayhem in the house because he was annoyed that Mother Yashoda left him without feeding for the milk which was boiling in the kitchen, and out of anger Krishna wrecked a lot of butter pots and broke the beautiful churn of Mother Yashoda, and now Mother Yashoda has caught him. So he is being caught by Mother Yashoda, and he's crying and crying, and Mother Yashoda has decided that she is not going to be very gentle on this occasion, but she's going to teach Krishna his lesson for causing the mayhem in the house. And Mother Yashoda calls Krishna my little butter thief and lots of other names, and one of them was a friend of the monkeys, which Krishna didn't likes a lot and liked a lot, and it's not easy for Mother Yashoda to be strict with Krishna, but she has to, because she knows that she has to discipline her little boy. Again she raised the stick for emphasis. If ever again you want to steal from the house, then remember this stick. Having said that, Yashoda Devi let the stick fall to the ground. Krishna breathed a sigh of relief. Dark clouds of fear parted, but the stick was still too close for comfort. Please do not hit me, he whimpered. Yashoda laughed in response, and by so doing drew the attention of the nearby guards. King of thieves, from where did you inherit your thieving ways? Do you think your father and his lineage are highwaymen? Krishna shook his head. All liars? Krishna shook his head. Then tell me, O wayward descendant of saints, how was the churn broken? Krishna rolled his eyes in thought. Through an act of God. Mother, it was your karma. Yashoda was amazed. Where did he get such ideas from? Oh yes, of course, and who gave butter to those monkeys? Yashoda pointed to the simians in the tree. Was that God too? Krishna nodded. Ultimately, the same Lord who created them also directed me to feed them. And could you not wait to enjoy the butter until it was offered to God? Or do you think you are God? Or is the butter more tasty than it is stolen and when it is stolen and unoffered? She was right on both counts, but what could he say? Staring at the ground, Krishna drew lines in the sand with his toes. Seeing his confusion, Mother Yashoda's heart melted. Chuckling, she said, Be good now and tell me the truth. No more stories. Hearing her voice soften, Krishna looked up, and for the first time since being caught, he looked into Yashoda's face. Mother and son marveled at the beauty of each other's eyes. Krishna thought, her eyes are two bottomless pools of love that have evolved the sense of sight to direct their emotions at me. Yashoda thought, his eyes are whirlpools of gaiety that relentlessly aspire every drop of love for him. So tell me, Mother, you ran with such energy to save the boiling milk that your anklet struck the churn and pierced it. Why blame me? Thereafter the Lord inspired some monkeys to raid your storeroom and steal its contents. Why fault me? Yashoda Devi was mesmerized by Krishna's eloquence. Even though every word he said was a lie, but magician that he was, Krishna spoke in a way that made his lies sound like a symphony of sweetness. In other words, what he said paled in comparison to how he said it. She nodded, wanting to hear more. Then, as I was trying to save the yogurt from the monkeys, you attacked me with a stick, treating me as if I were a common thief. Without pity, you chased me like a shadow, even though I was frightened to death. Yashoda just shook her head in amazement. How has this boy become such a honey-tongued spinner of yarns? Surely he will become a political advisor in the court of a great king. Feeling some remorse for hurting Krishna's feelings, Yashoda said, O most eloquent of storytellers, O best of thieves, though you were born in an aristocratic family by befriending monkeys, you have taken on their qualities. What a shame. Here was the monkey simile again. Somewhat emboldened, Krishna spoke his mind. He had tolerated enough of being associated with monkeys. Mother, if you think I am a monkey, then maybe I should go to the forest and live with my monkey friends. Yashoda was shocked. Things were going too far. Who knows, this boy is so angry and so stubborn that he may just do that. I cannot take the chance. Better that I tie him up. Yashoda Devi looked here and there. To look after both he and the house is too difficult. To Krishna, she said, my dear little thief, O you who by the beauty of your restless rolling eyes spreads confusion everywhere and in everyone, you have ignored all my attempts to discipline you. Therefore, I will tie you down right here, right now, so that I can return to the house and clean up the mess. You maid, let us see you invoke your mystic powers to steal more yogurt and butter when you are tethered like a black calf to a post. Yashoda's words infuriated Krishna. How dare she bind him like an animal? He huffed and puffed. The very thought of it made him want to spit. But he restrained himself. Spitting would no doubt invoke the return of the stick. Instead, he wailed to the sky. O Rohini Devi, where have you gone with my brother? O Rama, quickly come back. Mother wants to tie me up. Help, help. Although Rohini and Balram were too far away to hear Krishna's call, did not fall on deaf ears. The ladies who had not gone to the Deepavali festival noted a call of distress and left their houses running. Gathering in a group, the elderly gopis assessed the situation and one after another, cynically but respectfully addressed their queen. O noble one, how many times have we complained about the havoc your son creates in our homes? But you ignored us in favor of his lies. You protected him, even though he is obviously a deviant. Now he has plundered your house and finally you two see the light of the day. Tell us, how will you punish him? Please let us help you. The ladies of Gokula goaded Mother Yashoda into taking further disciplinary action. She looked at her subjects, nodding in agreement. Her mind was made up. She would tie Krishna to a tree or big rock. Gopis, palace guards, demigods, monkeys, birds and dogs looked on. What would she do? As different as were their conceptions of Krishna's identity, that common was their appreciation of Mother Yashoda. Speaking among themselves, these associates of the Lord glorified the wonder of Yashoda's love, a love so extraordinary as to make her unaware of his unlimited power. Because they shared a love similar to hers and because they were favored by her, the gopis understood Yashoda Devi's attachment to Krishna. One of them said, Yashoda Devi's affection for Krishna far exceeds the attachment she has for her own life. Another gopi added, no doubt our queen would repeatedly give up her life for her son's comfort. And so the gopis conversed. Yashoda is affectionate and compassionate to all children, but she has a special affection for Krishna. Why else would she consider binding him like an ordinary child? Oh friend, just consider the nature of Queen Yashoda's love. It is so exalted that it makes her blind to his supernatural influence. If Putana could not poison him, if Trinavrat could not steal him, and if a fully loaded cart could not crush him, how can she tie him? Oh friend, you misunderstand Yashoda Devi's thinking. Based on past experience, she fully knows how difficult her task will be. Still, loving affection obliges her to do what she thinks is best for him, however influential he may be. He is certainly a mysterious child, so innocent and yet possessed of such unprecedented powers. He must be the incarnation of a perfected mystic or a high-ranking demigod. Who knows, he may even be an incarnation of Vishnu. Do not forget the words of saintly Gargacharya. While the gopis spoke amongst themselves, the gods listened, sharing a similar understanding amongst each other. The demigods in heaven, however, did not have the privileged vision of the Vrajavasis. Somewhat puzzled by what they saw and heard, they conversed amongst themselves. How extraordinary this gopi is! Although she has seen her son's supernatural power, she still plans to tie him up. Another celestial opined, her compassionate nature binds her to his prowess, and with a mind full of affection, she has lost her discretion. O Deva, I think there is more to it than the maternal affection is so powerful that in her noble quest to correct Krishna's naughty conduct, it has made Yashoda Devi lose all rationale. Another demigod had a different perspective. O wise ones, my conviction is that the Queen of Gokula is fully aware of Lord Krishna's divine strength. She knows she will not be able to tie him up, yet maternal love obliges her to try. O friend, I agree with you in part. She knows his strength, but I disagree when you say that she knows she cannot tie him up. It is just the opposite. Loving devotion bewilders her into thinking that even though he is the Supreme Lord, she is stronger and so she can bind him. A senior demigod concurred, I agree, because she is his mother. Queen Yashoda considers herself more powerful than Lord Krishna. Her thinking is based on the universal rule that the mothers are stronger and more influential than their toddlers' offspring. This viewpoint did not sit well with everyone, and so a debate arose among the demigods. Did Mother Yashoda know the true powers of her son, or was she ignorant of them? The argument was finally settled when a heavenly sage commented, respected gods and goddesses, when Lord Krishna was a toddler and ate dirt, Mother Yashoda looked into his mouth and saw the universe inside him. From this incident, there should not be any doubt amongst us that she knows who he is. Anticipating the strength of his intelligence in matters of thievery and audacity, she thought that she would quickly tie him up before he manifests those same mystic powers. The birds and monkeys disagreed. Hearing the celestials' judgment, they exchanged glances of mutually shared disinterest. Neither the monkeys nor the birds considered the demigods fully realized in the nature of Rajabhakti. They chatted amongst themselves. What difference does Krishna's supreme divinity make to the fortunate soul who has maternal loving devotion to him? None at all. And that being the case, why would the presiding deity of maternal love, Queen Yashoda, give it a second thought? Exactly, although she has seen the universe within him, although she has heard that he is just like Narayan, although she has seen him kill demons, our queen does not care for these things. Pure love for her son makes his good conduct a high priority for her than understanding who he is and how his powers are spread everywhere. Considering that he should be directed to the path of good behavior, she has thrown aside her stick and will now try to bind him. Yes, in the absence of his being able to practice self-control, Dharma, Yashoda Devi considers the next best thing is to control Krishna with the rope, Dharma. So I will repeat, yes, in the absence of his being able to practice self-control, which is Dhamma, Yashoda Devi considers the next best thing is to control Krishna with the rope, which is a Dharma. The birds and monkeys cheered at the prospect of witnessing a new pastimes. No doubt it would shower them with unprecedented sweetness, yet this wise owl knew that this pastime was not new, that it was eternal, and that the ancients sometimes spoke of it. He thought, how wonderful to see firsthand this treasured Damodar Leela. The dogs listened to the other animals converse. They were not liberated souls. In their past lives, they had lived in Gokula as practicing devotees, and due to their offenses, they had now taken a lowly birth. Gradually, by living in Vrindavan, they had developed faith in the devotion displayed by Krishna's associates, and so they accepted as truth whatever the monkeys and birds said. By such continued association, these dogs would also attain perfection, at which time their understanding of Krishna's pastimes would mature. In the meantime, they had complete faith in the conviction of their superiors. In addition to the above-mentioned creatures, there were innumerable living entities in Gokula, moving and unmoving. They had realized the truths of Krishna's pastimes, either partially or in full. Among them were Krishna's eternal associates, who had descended with him from Goloka like the Bhandir tree. There were also practicing devotees who had attained perfection and were thus rewarded with Krishna's companionship and the guidance of his eternal associates. Aside from these perfect souls, there were other highly qualified beings who had taken birth in Braja, demigods, fallen practitioners, and exceptionally blessed souls, being just some. Among these blessed souls were two Arjuna trees who were watching Krishna from a distance. Because these trees were growing side by side, the Vrajvasis had called them twin Arjuna trees. Yamala Arjun, blessed long ago by Narad Muni, they now stood at the edge of Gokul village, waiting to be delivered by the son of Mother Yashoda. So with this, we conclude chapter 5. Yashoda reprimands her son. In the notes, Maharaj has mentioned Chaitanya Charitamrit Antilila and Gopal Champu, Srila Jiva Goswami's narration also, and of course 10th canto, 9th chapter, 12th verse, purports of Srila Prabhupada. I'll just read the last paragraph of the last note. In their commentaries to 10th canto, 9th chapter, 12th verse, Acharyas including Srila Prabhupada break up the words Damana tad virya as Damna tad virya, which means that Yashoda Devi desired to tie Krishna up as she was without knowledge of his supremacy. However, Baldeva Vidyabhushan alone is adamant that the word should not be broken in this way, because Mother Yashoda is not ignorant of Krishna's divinity. Having seen the universe in his mouth, he therefore proposes that Damana Tad Virya should be read as Damana Tad Virya, means Yashoda Devi desired to tie Krishna even though she was in knowledge of his supremacy. Such are the occasional contradictory readings of the Acharyas, which add further variety to the meanings of verses. So next time we shall start reading chapter 6, the attempt to bind Krishna. I wish everyone a very, very happy Damodar month, which has begun today, and let us all get a lot of mercy in this most merciful month of Srimati Radharani. And Krishna is so merciful to everyone that every act is given 1,000 times mercy, every devotional act. So let us offer lamps morning and evening to Lord Damodar and Yashoda Maya, and also sing Damodar Ashtakam and Gopi Geet, and try to relish the Krishna Prasadam as much as we can during this month. Try to refrain from outside food as your time and circumstance allows you. And let us try to immerse into the pastimes of Krishna in this month and hear as much as we can of the Krishna Katha and share with each other and try to have very focused chanting as much as possible. So thank you for joining, and also happy Sharad Purnima to everyone. Today is the Sharadera's Purnima. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.